Welcome to my live stream, the number one place where you can learn how to turn your Etsy side hobby into your full-time income. My name is Brendan Dopp, and today I will be answering your Etsy and print on-demand questions. For those of you that are here now, go ahead and ask your question in the live chat, and I'll be happy to answer those the best that I can. If you are watching this on the replay, I've added chapters down below where you can easily navigate through this live stream and watch the parts that interest you most. So for those of you that are here now, go ahead and ask your questions in the live chat, and I'll begin answering your questions. And so until we get some questions in the live chat, I will go ahead and answer some questions that I get often on my channel as well as in my Facebook group. And so the first question I want to talk about is, how do you handle shipping internationally, and would you recommend it? So for me, there's certain things that I do. So if you were using Printify or Printful, there's two different things that I do. So with Printful, they have a lot of different print providers throughout the world where you can easily ship your products to your customers in a very timely manner. But with Printify, they don't have as many providers throughout the world, so it's more difficult to quickly get your product to your customer. So if I'm using Printful, I do offer shipping worldwide, but if I'm using Printify, I usually do not offer shipping worldwide, but it's entirely up to you what you'd like to do. And the other big difference with Printify is they're using multiple different providers instead of Printful, who are doing it all in-house. So there's pros and cons to both, but it's up to you what you would like to do. If you do decide to ship internationally, you need to make sure you account for shipping and that you're charging the correct amount so that you're still making money, as well as you need to take in consideration the VAT fees that you were charged. And so those are things to be aware of if you plan on shipping worldwide. But if I were you and you're just getting started, I would just offer shipping in the United States and don't worry about shipping worldwide at the moment. And then later down, as you start to get the hang of everything else, then you could possibly consider shipping worldwide if that is something that interests you. But I see we have 6 people in the chat right now or in the live stream. If you want to message me where you're from, curious to see where everyone's tuning in from. And if you have questions, please ask me. I will be happy to answer any question that you have related to Etsy and print on demand. So the next question I want to talk about is, or the topic, I guess, is quantity versus quality. So I often get a lot of questions saying I've had my shop open for X amount of months and I'm getting no sales and I'm having a very hard time starting to gain momentum. And anytime that I look at their shop, they'll either have very little listings or they will have a ton of listings that are very poor quality. So it's very important to remember, anytime you're adding a listing, that you are creating a very high quality listing so that buyers will be interested in that specific listing. And things that are included within a high quality listing is, one, using very high professional mock-up photos. For me personally, I like to purchase all of my mock-ups off of Etsy. I feel like they stand out and they increase conversion much better than the ones that your print provider will offer. And then another important thing to remember when building a listing is using high proven SEO. So you need to be doing your keyword research, figuring out what keywords are ranking specifically for whatever niche you're designing for, and incorporating those in your title and in your tags. I also recommend using all of the characters in your title, which I believe is 140 characters, and you're maximizing your opportunity to be found, as well as making sure that you're using all 13 tags. Other ways to create a quality listing is by making sure that you're doing your trend research and you're actually designing something that people are interested in buying. If you're just designing whatever you want, I promise you'll have a very difficult time succeeding on Etsy. So you have to do your trend research, see what's currently trending, see what color palettes are popular, what graphics are popular, whatever it is that's currently trending, you have to be incorporating that into your store. And as you do so, as well as by adding your own spin on what's trending, you will begin to see momentum happen in your store. It looks like we got a few people tuning in now. So we have Annette from Bristol, UK. Good to have you here. We also have Crypto Haven. Hello, can you advise or share who you use as a printing provider? Great question. So when I first started out, I was using Printify, I was using Dream Junction, and I had several issues with Dream Junction from the get-go. So we switched all gears over to Printful, and we were using Printful for a long period of time, who offered great service. We had very little customer complaints, and we were very pleased with them. But over time, their prices continued to increase, and so it began to be very difficult to make any good money with Printful. So as of recently, within the last few months, we have shifted gears over to Printify again, specifically using Monster Digital as well as Swift POD. And so if you are planning on using Printify, you need to do your research. Not all print providers are created equal, and you have to figure out what print providers do good work. And they have their review rating score on Printify, so you can see how their performance is, as well as you can do a general Google search, seeing who people like, what they don't like. But it's critical to do your research before choosing a print provider. With Printful, though, too, they're a great company. They do great printing, and we still use them from time to time for specific colors and products that Printify doesn't offer. So really, we're using primarily two different providers. So we're using Printify and then Printful for one-off items, and then we also have a backup print provider that we use in case both of those don't carry something or they're out of stock or whatever the issue may be. We're able to go to our other print provider. It's just a local shop that we use. But great question. Thanks so much for asking. So Miley on Disney, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Do you have any questions, Miley? I see you comment often on my videos. Grateful for your support. So do you do more mugs, t-shirts, or something else, please? So we primarily sell t-shirts and sweatshirts. We're selling the Bella Canvas 3001 and the Gildan 18,000. It's up to you what you want to sell. If you're starting out, I highly recommend experimenting with everything, figuring out what works best for you. And then once you have some success, double down on it and go full force on it. So in the beginning, we were selling everything. We had canvases we were selling. We were doing mugs. We were selling stickers, t-shirts, sweatshirts. And we've had the most success in the past while selling t-shirts and sweatshirts. They tend to do really well. And so that's what we primarily sell now. But excellent question. And what I'm doing isn't necessarily going to be the perfect solution for what you're doing. So figure out what works best for you and don't be afraid to experiment and then double down on it. So, and another tip with that too is if you're selling just t-shirts and you create a design that does really well, it's an indicator that success leaves clues that you can now add that design to possibly hoodies or to tank tops or add it to a mug or create a sticker out of it. But do whatever you can because your options are endless with print on demand. You can essentially sell anything you'd like, from shower curtains to bath rugs to hoodies to stickers. So be willing to experiment. That's pretty much, I'd say that's one of the biggest secrets with selling on Etsy, is not being afraid to experiment and go through the trial and error process until you find something that works for you. But excellent question, Miley, and thank you so much for the super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Crypto Haven. Yes, thank you for the answer. I use Printful as well. Is there a way to easily track transaction of funds between Printful and Etsy? I see it as a very time-consuming task. So if you use your Printful dashboard, you're able to track your profits and what you're making per item, as well as I like to use the eRank profit calculator to really figure out what I'm making per item. But another recommendation I have for you is just to build out a simple spreadsheet for you and to track your expenses. But there's that, as well as I use QuickBooks, self-employed. It's an online service, so it's great. It helps so much with accounting as well as for taxes at the end of the year. And then also I'm able to keep track of what I'm making each month by using the QuickBooks. So highly recommend that as well. But other than that, those would be the main things I recommend. For any of you that are tuned in right now, if you have anything that you're using that you recommend, you can go ahead and add that to the live chat. But yeah, if that didn't answer your question, Crypto Haven, let me know. But I'd use your Printful dashboard and then look into using QuickBooks. Okay, Fancy Empress, free shipping or paid shipping, which is preferred by customers? So great question. Me personally, I offer free shipping. Etsy claims that they rank you better if you do use free shipping, as well as a customer standpoint. I personally feel like they would prefer free shipping. Anytime I'm doing my shopping online, anytime I have to pay an extra $6 or whatever it is for shipping, it turns me away, or I'm not as a happy customer. So I like to offer free shipping. It's up to you what you'd like to do. But if you are going to charge for shipping, or if you are going to offer free shipping, make sure you're accounting for the cost of shipping and you're building that into your price point so that you're still making at least minimum $5 per item when starting out. But I've seen a lot of shops have a lot of success with offering or charging for shipping. So you can experiment, see what works better for you. And you can even do specific listings. So for some listings, you can offer free shipping, and then some listings you can charge for shipping and see what ones perform better for you. But me personally, I like to offer free shipping. All right, fancy impress. Next question: general store or niche store? Another great question, and I get this question a lot on my channel. And so, again, me personally, it's up to you what you'd like to do. I highly, highly, highly recommend a general store. Reason being is you're able to target several different niches as well as several different holidays. So you can design your options are really endless for what you can design for. And once you start designing for a general store, I feel like your sales will increase significantly. And I'm saying this from experience. We first started out creating a store 100% focused on positive designs for just to increase positivity, and everything was focused on positivity. And we had sales in the beginning. It's not that we didn't have sales, but it was very slow moving. And then once we shifted all gears towards a general store, designing for every different niche that we wanted to design for, as well as designing for every single holiday, then really we saw our store take off and we started to see consistent daily sales. And that's when we really started to see growth. So I highly recommend experimenting with a general store and seeing where it takes you. And another great thing with general stores is it's one of the easiest ways to double down, because you can create a design for, let's say, the dog niche. And if that design does really well, you can easily take that design with the similar elements and then swap out a word or whatever the specific element is and change it to another niche for doctors or for fathers or for mothers, whatever it is. But it's a great way to experiment in several different niches and to see what works for you. So, personal advice: general store, I feel like, will really increase your sales, but experiment yourself and figure out what works best for you. Okay, Crypto Haven, thanks for the follow answer. No problem. If you have any other questions, Crypto Haven, let me know, please, in the live chat. Annette, I use AOP plus Printful and Printify. My shop is about a month old now. No sales yet, though. So do I deal with the pricing because there are many charges in Etsy charges that on shipping printing? All right, one second. Now let me reread this so I make sure I answer your question correctly. Okay, so I don't know if I completely understand your question, Annette. If you can rephrase it, I'll try to answer it better. But for you just starting out, just some side tips. This isn't answering your question, but when you first start out, know that it will take time to have success. I know you'll see shop owners that will start their shop and they'll get lucky in a way, and they do everything right and they'll get sales initially and things will take off for them. But that's not the case for everyone. For me, it took several months before I got my first sale. And so it takes time. And if you stay patient and if you stick with it and always are willing to learn, improve, and implement, you will see success eventually. It will come if you stick with it. For your pricing, I would experiment with pricing and experiment with your shipping setup. So if you want to charge for shipping on some and then offer free shipping on some and see what works best for you. But for you, Annette, I feel like the biggest issue any new seller has is they're not offering things that people want in their store. So they may be doing the trend research, but they may not be doing it the right way, and they haven't fully honed in on how to do your trend research and see what works. But make sure you're designing things that people want. You're including trending color palettes, trending font styles, graphics, etc., as well as the next biggest thing is making sure you're using high quality professional trendy mockups, and you can purchase those off of Etsy. So whatever product you're selling, let's say it's a Gildan 18,000, just search Gildan 18,000 and then the specific color that you want to sell. You can also purchase bundles if you want. So you can buy a big bundle with several different mockups to get started. And then the last thing is to make sure that you're doing your keyword research and you're using proven keywords both in your title and in your tags, because this is the way that you can connect your buyer with your specific listing. So But I would just continue to experiment in that, and I promise sales will continue to come. If you haven't watched all of my videos yet on my channel, I really do take you from beginning, from A to Z, walking you through step by step on exactly what you need to do to start seeing daily sales and to start to really turn this from your side hobby to your full-time income. But stick with it, and if you ever have questions, don't hesitate to ask myself on my channel or in our Facebook group, Print on Demand Warriors, and someone or myself will answer that. So another thing too on a net on pricing is making sure that you're being competitive enough with your other sellers that are in that specific niche. But remember that if you create a design that someone wants, they will be willing to pay it. So it doesn't matter if it's $5 more than your competitor. If it stands out and it's different enough and it's something unique, they'll be willing to pay it. I've been so surprised so many times what people are willing to pay on Etsy if you've created something that has demand and something that's unique enough that they want. So don't be hesitant to price accordingly. I mean, you can't charge something outrageous and expect someone to buy it, but within within the range of what other competitors are doing, you can charge a few dollars more and then see success. And another thought I had on this topic is um, when starting out, it's important to experiment with pricing and what you're going to charge. So if you want to price lower to be more competitive and to stand out, you can do that. And as you start to pick up sales for a specific listing, you can then consider increasing your prices. So you'll see a lot of shop owners, myself included, where if you create a listing at a specific price point and it starts to gain a lot of momentum and become a bestseller, then you can increase that price slowly so that you make more. Because if it's a bestseller, people are going to pay. They'll pay what the price is. So, but really, I've said this from the beginning of this live stream. You have to be willing to experiment in order to succeed on Etsy. And also, you can't be afraid to fail. I promise every single one of you are going to fail at one point in your Etsy print on demand business. I've done it several times, but that's the best and fastest way to learn. So, but keep with it, Annette. I promise you will see success if you're willing to learn what you need to learn and discipline yourself to do what you have to do to in order to get to seeing success. So, Tristan, good to have you here. Opinion on digital products like seamless patterns. So I think if you're referring to selling digital products, I think it is a great idea. And it's an extremely passive source of income after you have done the upfront work. And there's very little customer service with it. So it's a no-brainer, I think, if you are familiar with that niche and you're able to create seamless patterns to sell. I think it's a smart idea, and I would do that along the side of selling print on demand. It makes so much sense to have multiple sources of income and streams of income so that if one goes out or if one doesn't perform well, you have backup. But great idea, Tristan, and I recommend it. I have no reason to say no. I don't think it's a good idea. So. Okay. Hi, Brennan. Do you do shop reviews or coaching? So great question. At the moment, I am not doing any coaching other than all the free content that I share on my channel. And I really do share about everything you need to know on my channel, and it's all for free. So go and watch all my videos. I share a lot of value and a lot of step-by-step tutorials that will help you to know everything you need to know. So highly recommend watching those. But I don't offer any coaching right now. And shop reviews, I was doing them at the beginning stages of starting my channel. At the moment, I'm not doing any shop reviews, but I do have intentions to start doing shop reviews again in the future. But when I do that, I'll let you guys know in my Facebook group, Print on Demand Warriors. If you're not in there, go ahead and go sign up for that, as well as I'll let you know on my channel. But great question. And yeah, I will keep you posted on that. And thanks for tuning into the live stream. Good to have you here. Okay, Annette. So I understand now that you've clarified. So she said there are many charges, so pricing is quite difficult to figure out. I don't want to be too expensive. So the number one thing I do to figure out pricing in my store is I will first go and see what the competitors are offering their items at or their products at and seeing what they're charging. And with this too, you got to make sure you're not just looking at their listing photo or their listing in search results. Make sure you click through their listing and then look at the options that they're offering. Because if you've spent any time on Etsy, you will notice there are sellers that are very strategic in their pricing. So in a listing, they'll offer several different variants. So they'll offer like a baby onesie for an extremely cheap price, around $8 or $9, or a kid's shirt for $8 or $9. And then the actual item that you're seeing in search results for the Gildan 18,000 sweatshirt is also a variant within that listing, but it's actually charged. They're actually charging whatever it is, $34 plus shipping. So in reality, they're charging $40 for the sweatshirt, but in search results, a consumer sees it as if they're only charging $10 for it. So make sure you click through to see what it is exactly that they're charging. But I'll see what they're charging. And then after that, I will go to eRank and use their eRank profit calculator. It's free to sign up for eRank. You do have to create an account, but after having an account, you can have access to several tools of theirs, and one being the profit calculator. And there it will break down it'll break down everything for you. So they include the transaction fee and all of the other fees that Etsy includes, as well as you can then go plug in your base cost or your cost that the customer pays, and then the cost that it costs you to fulfill that order. So you can get the exact price point that you want to charge to see what type of profit you make. So highly recommend the eRank profit calculator to figure out exactly what you want to charge. And it's so important too to make sure that you are making profit on your listings, because I feel like a lot of new sellers forget to account for all of the Etsy fees as well as the shipping costs. So make sure you do your research, your due diligence to know exactly what it is that your cost is, and then to know what you should charge so that you can make whatever profit is that you want. And I talk a lot about making at least minimum $5 when first starting out per item. And then from there, you can easily increase your prices to make more. So, but great question. And I hope that helped answer it and that I understood that correctly. And another tip too, if for those of you that are using Printify or thinking of switching over to Printify, they have Printify Premium. So you can pay a yearly fee or a monthly fee. And it's a great way to save money on cost. And really, if you sell 3 to 4, let's say 3 to 5 orders a month, it's going to pay for itself. But it discounts your base cost. So instead of paying X amount, you're charged less so that you can make more. So recommend looking into Printify Premium if you're interested in that and if you have the budget for it. I know just starting out, it doesn't make much sense to do it, and I wouldn't recommend it if you don't have the budget for it. But once you start making sales and you're consistently selling daily and you're having over 5 sales a month, then 100% look into Printify Premium to save on cost. All right, if you guys are enjoying this live stream, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. And thank you so much for being here. I'll continue to ask questions. So for those of you that are just tuning in, make sure you ask your questions in the live chat and I will answer those in just a second. All right. So Miley on Disney. I opened a shop last month, September 2022. I started with 10 mugs and I had $800 in sales in my first 3 days, all for the same mug. That is insane, Miley. I believe you commented this on one of my videos and I remembered how impressive that was. So here's a prime example, everyone, that one, Etsy is extremely possible for anyone starting. You can see success if you are designing the right things. And I would guess that Miley, she can let us know on this, but I would guess that she created something that was trending, but most importantly, she created something that was very niche and very unique that she added her own spin onto. And that's why she was able to have so much success with it. But congratulations on that, Miley. That is very impressive. And so I'm curious to see how things are going now for you in your shop, but keep up the good work. And here's another example. I recommend selling t-shirts and sweatshirts because that's what I've had success with. But if you would ask Miley, she's had a ton of success with selling mugs. So you have to experiment, figure out what works for you, find your thing, and then run with it once you see some success. Not knowing any better, I thought I could use one of the leading keyword programs to find better keywords, and I changed something. Okay, sorry, Miley, I didn't finish your thought. Not knowing any better, I thought I could use one of the leading keywords programs to find better keywords, and I changed something. Sales came to a crawl, and I don't remember the way it was before the change. So now I only get 5 to 10 sales a day as I find my way back to the great success I found at the start. In retrospect, I should have created a duplicate listing for the hot seller and changed things in that one. Live and learn. So great lesson to be learned here, Miley. And I would bet you start to gain momentum again, but lesson learned here to duplicate a listing before editing it, and so that you don't kill your momentum. But man, just be proud of your success you had from the get go there. That's extremely, extremely impressive. But lesson to be learned for everyone. So thank you for sharing that and for the experience that you had. That's beneficial to everyone here. Nancy, good to have you here. Hi, what are your thoughts on shipping POD internationally? I was thinking of adding a few countries such as Canada, Australia, and Japan. Thanks. So, great question, Nancy. I went into depth on this in the beginning of the live stream here, but I'll just fill everyone in again. For international shipping, if you're using Printful, I think it makes complete sense because they have several print providers throughout the world. So that they can easily print and fulfill that order in a very timely manner to your customer. But with Printify, on the other hand, they don't have as many international providers. They do have some, but not as many throughout the world. So it makes it more difficult to get that item to your customer in a timely manner. So if you're using Printful, I think it's a no-brainer, but you have to account for the cost of shipping as well as the VAT fees and everything else that that entails. But for Printify, I would just ship US based. That's my personal preference. I just think it makes more sense, and you don't have to deal with the headache of pricing everything for that. So, but I hope that answers your question. If you're using Printful, I would consider adding Canada, Australia, and Japan. But if you're using Printify, I would probably just stick with US. But feel it out for yourself. Just make sure that if you are using Printify, you look into see where they ship to, because not everyone ships everywhere, and see what locations that they have. All right. Annette, thank you. Okay. Do you know how to make the auto suggestion on Etsy search bar without having typed any words yet, as it doesn't appear when I do it? So this is interesting. In the beginning stages, even within like the last 6 months, this was a thing that you could do on Etsy where you could click on the search bar and it would show you what's popular right now for specific keywords. So it was a great way to do your trend research or your keyword research and figure out what keywords to use. And I haven't figured out if it's something that they're phasing out or if it's specific to whatever browser you're using. But in the past few weeks, I say this because I was going to create a short video on it, teaching this, but in the past few weeks, I haven't been able to get the autofill to work again, either on Microsoft Edge, Safari, or Chrome. So, um, yeah, I'm not sure if they're phasing it out or what the deal is with that, but hopefully they bring it back because that was a great way to do keyword research and to see what keywords are trendy and popular right now. So, um, you're not the only one in the same wondering what happened to that or why it's not working. Anyone else in this live chat, if you are able to still access this feature, because I know sometimes they'll remove it from specific shops or sellers, and then some sellers have this option. So I'm not sure what it is, but good question. Do you accept food stamps? Miley, thank you. You are very supportive and awesome. I think you comment on every single video, so I'm grateful for your support. And on that topic too, it's crazy. We have a small little community we've created, but we just broke 7,000 subs. And that's crazy to me to think that there's 7,000 people, like-minded people who are willing to help each other grow in the space of selling on Etsy. So just want to give a shout out to everyone. Thank you so much for your continued support, for watching my tutorials, for commenting on videos, for being involved in the Facebook group. It's really the community that makes doing YouTube and running a channel as fulfilling as it is, because it's cool to see the interactions that we have and to meet people from all over the world and to learn new things from everyone. So thanks, Miley. Okay. Crypto Haven, I have seen a lot of videos that a lot of shop owners of Etsy are leaving it. Do you believe they will get rid of the 20 cent per listing and per sales fee? Just curious on your feedback or opinion. So one, Crypto Haven, I think that is a very clickable title, and that's why a lot of YouTubers are using that title. Personal opinion, they're saying, "Oh, I'm done with Etsy. I'm leaving it," or whatever, because it will get people to click. But me personally, I am not leaving Etsy, and I don't think it's going to be anytime soon that I leave Etsy just because of the opportunity that's currently on Etsy. And that's for anyone. If you are just now learning about print on demand and selling on Etsy, you still have as much of an opportunity to succeed on Etsy as anyone else who have been in the game for the past few years. So don't miss out on the opportunity, and I would stick with it. For your question on getting rid of the 20 cent per listing fee and the transaction fees, I would have no I would be very surprised if they were to get rid of that. It'd make no sense for them to get rid of it because that's how they're making their money. Etsy is a business themselves, so they're anytime we make money, they make money. So it would be extremely surprising if they were to get rid of that. The only way I would see that they would get rid of the Etsy fees is if they went to like a subscription based plan only, where you had to pay. So like for like Shopify, for example, you pay X amount per month, but there's no other fees. So that would be my only reason why they would, if they were to get rid of it, it'd be for that reason. But I don't think anytime soon or ever they would get rid of that unless they change business models. All right, Miley. Hey guys, don't forget to like the video. I agree with that. So if you guys are finding value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to share it with a friend, you can go ahead and share it with someone that you know that's doing Etsy and print on demand, or someone that's looking for a side hobby. Go ahead and share that with them as well. So thanks, Miley. Fancy Impress. Honest opinion on ads. Do you use them? If not, what's a good way to market your product? So this is a very common question that we get. I think there's pros and cons to ads, but with ads, if you're going to run ads, here's the baseline. If you have the budget to run ads, then run ads. But if you don't have the budget, don't worry about it. Just focus on using proven keywords and making sure that you're doing your keyword research and to be able to rank organically. That's one of my most favorite things about Etsy is you can rank on the first pages for several different niches if you create something that people want and that performs well and has good SEO. And you can rank organically without ever spending any money on marketing and do really well on Etsy. But if you have the budget for it, I highly recommend experimenting with it, especially if you get a winning listing. So with running ads, sorry, I did this in a long roundabout way, but I wouldn't run ads until you find a winning listing. So if you have a listing that's performing really well, then I would consider adding fuel to the fire. That way you're able to really grow that specific listing, which will in return grow your shop. But if you are just kind of dead right now, I would focus more on doing your trend research, creating something that's trending, and focus on improving the quality of your listings as well as improving your SEO. So my personal opinion, I don't think ads are necessary in the beginning to start to see success. But if you want to grow your shop down the road, if you start to have the budget for it, then I would consider running ads. But you'll hear a lot of people who are not a fan of Etsy ads just because you have very little control over it other than setting your budget for the day. And it's true. It's very easy to burn through your ad spend and to really just light money on fire. So you have to be very careful and strategic with what listings you're putting that you're marketing. So I think that's a personal choice what you want to do, but I don't want you guys to think that you have to have money to run ads in order to have success. Because for us, for the last year, we spent very, very little money on ads and we've seen success and we consistently get daily sales. So yeah, I just focus on the basics, the essentials, the things I teach on my channel, and then consider spending money on ads. So great question. I hope that answered your question. I don't think there's a right or wrong way, but I think that's just some input on what I feel like the best way to do with that. So only run ads on winning listings. That's what I should have said instead of that long drawn out answer. Okay, with free shipping, do you ship to US only? So currently, with my listings that are connected to my Printify store, I only ship US. But for listings with Printful, I do have the option to ship worldwide. And we do get occasionally orders that come from Europe or other parts of the world, but mostly Europe and Canada as well. But with that, it's so few that I don't think you're missing out a ton on not shipping worldwide. So up to you what you want to do. But we do have the option to ship worldwide, but we mostly sell just to the US. Okay, Sales Samurai has a great pricing calculator. Yes, Sales Samurai is another great tool to use. There's a lot of tools out there, these keyword research tools that include these profit calculators. You can also build your own in an Excel sheet or a Google sheet, but I've just always used eRank Profit Calculator, and that's the one that I've always used and I'll continue to use. But they're all the same concept and they do the same thing. So, but that's a good idea. I've never recommended Sales Samurai, so thank you for that advice. Glad the audio as well. Printify Premium, thanks. Okay, what social media do you recommend? An easy one to manage. I'm starting Pinterest, but seeing little results so far. So right now, I will be straightforward with you, and I may be missing out on a lot of opportunity. We are not running any social media for our store. In the beginning, we did experiment with Pinterest, specifically Pinterest boards, because you're able to, if you can get a listing to start to, or a pin to gain momentum and to get repinned and repinned and repinned, it can quickly pick up momentum and drive a lot of or a lot of outside traffic to your Etsy shop. So I think personally, Pinterest would be probably your best option as of now. And I think it may just take some time to start to gain some momentum, but I would stick with it for sure. Um, I know a lot of people have their own Instagram account for it, and then also now I I'm not involved in social media at all, which is kind of ironic, other than just YouTube, but also TikTok. If you want to start a TikTok, you could possibly do that as well and see some success with it. But if there's anyone in this live stream right now that is having success with social media, let us know. But to answer your question, I would just keep with Pinterest at the moment, and then if you want to branch out, you can. But and then I think, yeah, TikTok's just so popular right now and everyone's on TikTok right now that if you could figure out a creative, unique way to tap into that market and to showcase your products there, you could see some success with that. Gloria, the Stanvifer Exchange. Good to have you here. So, good morning. Great to see you today. This holiday is going to rock. It's already more than I made all year for this month. Congratulations, Gloria. That is so exciting. So Gloria's been, I really think you've been here from the beginning, Gloria. So it's good to have you still here and to see you go from starting your store to dominating on Etsy. So congratulations. And she is a perfect example of someone who sticks with it and figures out what they needs to do to see success and doesn't give up when times are hard. So, and it's so I promise you times will get hard where you have no sales or sales are down compared to what they were, and just expect it and just tell yourself that you got to push through it and you have to continue to list and do the basics and to not give up, because you could be just one design away from changing the course of your entire shop as well as the course of your life. So if you are willing to stick with it when times are hard, you will see the fruits later on. So stick with it and don't give up. And Gloria, the Stand Up for Exchange, is a prime example of this. Okay, my main sale is still that same mug. I'm trying to get into shirts because the profit is better. So yeah, experiment, try all sorts of different products, everyone. There's no reason not to, especially with the option of doing print on demand. Okay. So we have someone here from Macedonia, La Flaqua 2901. Sorry if I mispronounce your name, but good to have you here. Love the curls. Thank you very much. Can I please share my shop with you so that you advise on how I can improve, please? So I'm currently not doing shop reviews, but if you message me on the channel or in the Facebook group, I could consider looking at your shop and give you just a very brief overview and things I'd recommend doing. But another thing on this too, I've noticed recently in the Facebook group, or our Facebook group, Print on Demand Warriors, I've seen a lot of people saying, drop your shop link to give feedback or whatever. I want to give you guys a warning voice of this to be very careful. I want to give everyone the benefit of the doubt and know that they have no bad intention, but you have to be very cautious with sharing your store, especially if you are at a point with your shop where you're having momentum and you're getting daily sales, because there is a lot of copycatting that happens on Etsy and with Etsy sellers. So be very cautious when sharing your shop, especially in public places like in a Facebook group or on my channel or wherever it is. So just know you can't trust everyone. I wish you could and you didn't have the issues with that, but you have to just be cautious and know that there's the potential of someone stealing your designs if you do that. So be cautious with that. But other than that, I would be happy to look through your shop if you message me on the Facebook group. All right. Congratulations on 7,000 subs. You have great content. Thank you. Okay. Yes, I guess it was a great tool. Fingers crossed. Etsy put this suggestion stuff back. All right. So I also want to thank you so much for your content, Brennan. It's so helpful for us who are starting. No problem. I'm glad you enjoy it. And thanks for being appreciative and grateful for it. It means a lot. And if you guys didn't see my most recent video I did on creating a listing on Printify, that was one of my most thorough videos that I've done from beginning to end. So I walk you through everything, creating mockups, how to find mockups, how to do your SEO, how to do your trend research, how to build your listing, as well as how to create templates to speed up the process. So if you haven't watched that, I feel like there's information in that video for everyone, no matter what stage of a sell or what stage you are in the process. So highly recommend going and watching that video because I share a lot of valuable information in there that could really benefit you and the success that you could have. So, but thank you guys for your support. Do you use commas in your title? So you'll see a lot of different sellers structure their titles differently. I don't know. There will be people who say there's one right way or wrong way, but I don't know if there. I personally don't know if there is because I've seen, and I say that because I've seen shops that structure their title with no commas who have a lot of success. I've seen them structure it with commas who have a lot of success. I've seen it do it with like asterisk marks or um, different types of ways of breaking up their keywords, and I see them have success. So I personally in my store, I do the keyword, comma, space, the keyword, comma, space, the keyword. And that's what I've had success with. So I continue to do that. But I don't know if there's a better way that would really increase it, but I don't think there is. I think the most important thing is to just make sure Etsy and the algorithm knows that what you are trying to rank for. So making sure you're using keywords that are specific to whatever niche you're designing for, and then to also break up your keywords so it's obvious that okay, this is a cute sweatshirt for dog lovers or whatever it is, and then comma space, then your next keyword. So that's my personal advice to break up your keywords with commas. I use ads. The extra sales just pay for the ads. And I assume this is on your mug that's performing really well for you, Miley. So here's another example. Once you find a winning listing, then to spend some ad spend on it to scale it, and then you'll see that thing blossom. Because you know if it's already performing well, the click-through rate's good on it, the conversion rate's good on it, that it's going to most likely perform well if you spend ad money on it. So great example there. All right, if you guys are enjoying this content and this live stream, and if you want me to do more live streams, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe so you can know when I post new content. I'm not on a super strict schedule for posting, but I need to get on more strict schedule. But I do try to post at least once a week, whether it's a short or a longer form video. But I am trying to be as active as possible and share as much information as I can. But if you're subscribed and you turn on the notifications, you are able to know when I post new content. So highly recommend doing that. All righty, we'll continue on. So for those of you that just tuned in, make sure you ask your questions in the live chat, and I will be answering the questions that you have for the next few minutes before signing off. All righty. Let's look through these last questions here and see what other ones we want to talk about. Okay, so how many niches do you recommend we enter into, and how many listings per niche to find a winner? So I think as many niches you can design for, the better, because it gives you the more opportunity to be found. So the way that I like to look at it is the more digital real estate you have on Etsy, the more chances you will have it being found. So if you can create several listings for several different niches, it's just going to increase your sales and increase your chances of having success on Etsy. So me personally, I would do your research, figure out what niches perform well, and then figure out ways to design for those specific niches and bring something different and unique to that niche. And then for how many listings per niche to find a winner, I don't think I could give you a specific number. Obviously, the more high quality listings you have per niche, the better. But I would say at least over, I don't know. I really don't know, but I would say at least over 30 listings per niche to find one that does well. And that's just a number I threw out there, but the more you have, the better. And if you can do 100 listings for every single niche you're designing for and consistently do that, you'll eventually find, um, you'll start to see a lot of increase in traffic and a huge increase in sales. So great question though. Another thing too, when we're talking about niches, something to keep in mind is making sure you guys are taking advantage of doing group listings. I think it's one of the best ways to increase sales and your order count, because anytime someone comes through to your store, they're not going to just order one shirt. If you built out a couple shirt listing, they're going to order two guaranteed. Or if you build out a family listing, a family shirt listing, they're going to at least order three or more. So it's one of the best ways to get one customer to buy multiple things in your store, and the best way to really increase your revenue in your Etsy shop. So if you don't have group listings, I highly recommend figuring out ways to bring something different to the group listing niches, and so that you can really increase your sales in Christmas time. We're at the tail end of adding designs for Christmas, since it's already November 21st. So but that's one of the best times to create group listing shirts, because a lot of people are buying like group or family pajamas that are Christmas themed or whatever it is. But yeah, take full advantage of group listings. All righty. I'll answer just a few more questions. All right, so this is an interesting question. We have shipping costs have increased to $8 compared to $4 by Monster Digital and Swift POD. That is insane. How do some shops offer the Gildan 18,000 for $20 and free shipping when shipping is $8? So you need to keep in mind that not everyone on Etsy is doing print on demand. There are a lot of sellers on Etsy who are doing this in-house, so they're printing their sweatshirts and their t-shirts themselves, and they're doing all of the fulfillment themselves. So because of that, you're able to charge a significantly less amount because your base cost is so much cheaper. I don't know if any of you have ever purchased blank Gildan 18,000s or Bella Canvas 3001s or whatever it is that you're selling, but they are extremely cheap. You can buy most of these products under $10. And then if you're printing it yourself, you're paying for whatever type of printing you're doing. So for the ink or whatever it is, depending on the printing that you're doing, but your base cost is significantly less. So you're able to charge much less. So I would suspect most of those people that are charging only 20 bucks for a sweatshirt, they're doing it in-house, or they've found a local print provider that they have a good deal with, and and that they're able to have a very affordable price, so they're able to charge so much less. But yeah, not everyone's using Printify, not everyone's using Printful. A lot of people are doing it in-house themselves still. I'm running $300 per day on ads. End of the week, I'll max it out. Go all in if you can. Okay, so here's someone, Gloria, who is going all in right now during Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. So she is spending all on ads, and it sounds like what she said, Gloria, you are having a lot of success from it. I'd be curious to see what what it looks like what's your ad spend to profit. Times to get hard, and that's when I go all in on designing and updating my photos. Make sure you don't give up. So another thing with that too, it's like you can choose to either be very productive when things aren't going well and use your energy positively, or you can choose to be very negative and not do anything. So if you are not seeing sales, the worst thing you can do is to say, why me, and mope around and not do anything. But the best thing you can do is to just continue to grind, continue to create listings, do your trend research, and figure out what's going on. Because I would bet the thing that's missing in your store is creating high quality listings. That's one of the best things you can do for your shop. You don't need to get caught up in creating the perfect banner or the perfect about us section. It's really the reason why you're not having success is because you're not creating something that someone wants, and you're not doing the correct SEO to connect that with someone that someone's looking for that. So make sure you just stick with it and use your energy positively and do what you need to do to succeed. But great advice, Gloria. Thank you for sharing that. So Simple Life of Suzanne, glad you enjoyed the tutorial. I honestly feel like that's one of my best tutorials I've done, just content wise. with what information I share all in one video. So I can't recommend enough going and watching that because I share a ton of information within those 40 minutes. And I know that video seems like a lot, but I added chapters to that video so you can easily just click through and watch exactly the part that you want to. You don't have to go through the whole video. So just go and find the parts that you want to watch and check it out. So thank you, Brennan. Your videos have been immensely helpful for a novice like me. Can I ask, do you have any videos on Printful and Etsy? Yeah, so if you watch my first videos, all of them are specifically focused on Printful and Etsy. So it was just as of recently that I started to do more Printify tutorials, but a lot of my videos are focused on using Printful and Etsy, and really they go hand in hand. They it's the same principle. It's just the different print provider. But if you're looking specifically on how to integrate Printful with Etsy or create a listing on Printful, and then I do have those videos on my channel. So be sure to go and check those out. It'll be some of my older videos. So you can just go scroll way down to my first content that I made, and those are the videos that are specifically for Printful and Etsy. As a beginner, I don't really have the budget for ads. Can I begin without ads? 100% straight answer. You can have success on Etsy without running ads. So yes, you can. It's way easier to scale your business with running ads, but it's not required to begin having sales, and specifically daily sales. So don't feel like you have to spend money on ads in order to succeed on Etsy. All right, my friends. So thank you so much for tuning into the live stream today. It was so good to have everyone here. If you found value in this live stream, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want me to do more live streams, it's been about 10 months since I've done my last live stream. Let me know in the comment section of this video that you want me to do more live. So you can just comment down below, go live again, and I'll be sure to do live streams more often. But it was fun to hang out with everyone and answer some questions. For those of you that didn't get your question answered, you can ask that in the chat, in the comment section down below this video. Also, for those of you that want to come back and watch this live stream again, I will add chapters after I in this live stream, so you can easily click through the specific question that I answered, and so you can watch the parts that interest you most. But if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. And if you haven't given this video a thumbs up, make sure you give it a thumbs up, as well as be sure to go and join my Facebook group, Print on Demand Warriors. And keep with it, keep learning, improving, and implementing, and I promise good things will happen. You could be just one design away from your store taking off and completely changing the course of your life. So don't give up. That's the worst thing you could do with your Etsy business. Just keep with it. Make sure you do the basics. Don't overlook the basics, and don't overcomplicate the wheel. Okay, there's a simple method you can follow, which I teach on my channel, and it is the best and fastest way to guarantee success. And I promise that that success won't come immediately for everyone. It will take time, so just be willing to stick with it. But thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the continued support. I'm grateful for every single one of you, and excited to continue to grow our shops together. So have a wonderful day. Have a great weekend, and a wonderful Thanksgiving for those of you that are celebrating that. So, okay, take care, guys. Thank you.